It's a spectacular time of the year out walking the dog. Beautiful fall colors, bright sunshine. It's an in-between time, some might say, or it's just a time. Something I've been thinking a lot about over this last little while, and I think about on my walks, including today, just disruption in general. I think about the disruption and changes coming in places like higher education, post-secondary, place I've worked in for a long time. Really, these last 4 months, 5 months, I left a position, six-figure administrator position, good benefits, all that sort of stuff, good career path, career ladder, and for a variety of reasons, which would be for another video. The area I started to turn to and look at, investigate, research, is the digital creator economy, digital writing, and exactly the point of creating these videos. And I'm finding an absolutely fascinating, incredible world and an amazing amount of creation that's happening, and people that are making themselves good livings, very good livings, through digital creation and posting stuff online, posting courses, showing other people how to do it. And something I've been engaging over the last little while, trying to post and write and research on a daily basis. And it's pretty great because I can do that on my own accord and not be worried about what an employer is thinking or otherwise. And of course, then the question becomes, well, how do people monetize that? How do they make a living? How do they bring in an income from that? And it's really impressive, the systems and the ways that people are setting this up to be able to do that. I've been following quite a few and commenting and learning and engaging and on that path myself, I hope. About 4.5 months in or so, starting to get a system in place about how I'd like to be able to do that and how to be able to make a living from that. And we'll see if it's possible. Lots are able to do it, and those are the stories we hear, but kind of like the academic literature in a sense, often we hear more about the ones that are able to do it as opposed to the ones that aren't. We hear about the successes and not so much about the failures, and I can pretty much guarantee it may not necessarily be failures or folks that just stopped trying to be part of the digital creative economy or went back to a wage labor position or a salaried position. And it's not necessarily a failure, but certainly just taking a different direction than what was intended. And I am curious about those stories too and see bits and pieces. But if it's all in a digital community, which is growing rapidly, we've got some 5 billion plus people in the world that are able to access the internet in some form or another. So it's something I'm thinking about, learning about, pondering about when I'm walking, running over ideas and thoughts in my head, creating some digital mediums just like this to be able to engage in conversations with others. And for me in north central Canada, Western Canada, it's pretty amazing that I can engage in dialogue and conversation with others that are trying to do similar things in all parts of the world. I've been connecting with some folks in the United States and people in Europe, people in Australia, people in New Zealand. It's a really wonderful thing to be able to do that in such a time, and who knows, maybe that's a benefit that comes out of the pandemic and the world basically being shut down from a lot of mobility, is the ability to connect online through that digital environment and people taking real pleasure in the digital creator and shifting away from just relying on mass media or sort of the mass production type of approach to things. Wondering what you're thinking about these things. What are you engaging in? What have you learned? What would you like to do differently? What are you hoping for? Leave some comments. See if we can get this conversation moving along even further.